Hey, I have a second channel. Cube Compium TDX. Hey everybody. So I have some news to report on the Samsung NE59M6850SS range behind me. So this is a stainless steel smooth surface electric range with the flex duo oven, as you can see there. So first and foremost, if you have not seen my previous video talking about this range where it's on its third replacement touchpad, go have a look, because that way you'll know exactly what's going on. So just to give you a quick recap, so I bought this range new from Lowe's back in October 2021 as part of the home project. This home came with Samsung appliances in the kitchen with the exception of the microwave. The microwave, I bought that last year in May 2021 around Memorial Day. I bought it for about $200, so got that, and then later got the range. And microwave's been fine. The fridge over here has been working fine. Dishwasher down there has been fine. And I was having some issues with the range. The cooktop and the oven worked great, but the issue was if you went to try to bake something, you try to put in temperatures, it would a lot of times, it would either think you press a different button, like sometimes you'll press the oven lighter off clear and think you press self clean, or sometimes you just sit there and be mashing a number and it wouldn't register. Like, I mean, for example, now you can see it works fine. So the thing is, Samsung had come out multiple times. So they replaced the original part. They replaced this membrane pad as well as that display and a circuit board behind it. Both times that they came out to replace parts. Yes, they came out 2 times. Well, actually, no, they came out like 5 or 6 times actually, but they came out 2 times to actually replace parts. So they replaced said parts 2 times, and both times that they replaced the parts, the replacement parts functioned worse than the original, which led me to believe, in hindsight, that this is definitely not a defective part issue. This is an installation error. So, and here's the thing: is the crazy thing is, after the first time it was replaced, I tried to explain this to Samsung's technicians, and I told this to customer service, and of course they put a ticket in, and the same technician came back out to replace the part again. I told him, and I showed him that locking the controls by pressing start set for 3 seconds, and then taking my fist inside of a towel and really pressing down nice and hard against the membrane would get it to work fine again. That should have been a telltale sign right there that this had something to do with the adhesion between the membrane and the backplate. But no, they decided to replace the parts again, using the same installation method. Like literally, the guy, he took the thing out, peeled the old membrane switch off, laid the new one on, lined it up, and literally just used his fingers to press it down. And obviously it was not applying enough pressure, because the second part, which I'm not sure if I talked about on YouTube, actually I think I did talk about in the previous video. So like literally an hour after the guy left with the after replacing the part for the second time, I already noticed like things like bake. were not responding. Like you have to press back multiple times, and sometimes the numbers. Let me see. Oh, I can find now, but they wouldn't respond. So I called Samsung again and said, "Hey, this part y'all installed, y'all replaced for the second time, is not working properly." And I mean, I've been on the phone with Teknition, which is the local Samsung Care service provider. I was on the phone with them for several times. I've been on the phone with Samsung customer service multiple times. I've been on the phone with several people from Samsung multiple times, and here's the deal. So the technician told me that if this replacement part doesn't work, we're going to offer you an exchange on the entire range. I'm like, okay. I said, like, I don't think that's necessary. I think that's kind of overkill, considering the rest of the stove works fine. But whatever. And then I got to thinking about it. I said, you know what? I'm not replacing this thing because here's the thing. This is a 2019 model range, and it came from Lowe's last year, 2021. It was a store display. So it sat in Lowe's. It sat in the appliance section of the local Lowe's for about a year and a half, close to 2 years. See, what it is, Lowe's had a fall sale last fall, back in October, and they had this thing marked down from its normal MSRP of $14.99 to $9.99, and I got it. Thing was, I first stopped at a different Lowe's, and they said that's an older model. We no longer sell it. And I said, well, Lowe's happens to have one, because it was listed on the website as a store. It was on the other Lowe's had one as a store display, and it said, go speak with that Lowe's. They may sell it to you, and of course they did. So that's the reason why I ended up with this thing when it was already well over a year old. So the thing is, this particular model is no longer made, and I got it for a steal. I mean, I got it for $9.49 actually, because I got an additional $50 off because it was a store display. So the thing was, if I would have got a refund, so I know I'm kind of all over the place, but basically Samsung was going to partner with the local Lowe's to issue a refund. I said, no, absolutely not, because the thing is, if I was to go out and purchase another Flex Duo range under the current model, I'd have to spend another $550 to get it. And that's if it's even in stock. I mean, none of the Lowe's stores here even have the new model in stock right now. Maybe it's a supply chain issue. I don't know. But I'm like, no, absolutely not. And the thing is, the issue with Samsung's customer service is their communication is just very poor. For one, half the time you can't understand what they're saying on the dang phone. And another thing is, you tell them one thing, and I swear they tell their repair technicians or somebody higher up something else. Because I kid you not, back in July, I called Samsung. It was on a Sunday evening. I called Samsung and I said, look, and they basically said, yeah, at this point we're going to want to issue a exchange. And I said, no, I'm not doing an exchange. Let's repair it one more time. I've tried to explain to the technician multiple times how to fix the problem. And y'all best do it right this time. Y'all best listen to me and understand what I'm saying. What gets me is, why am I having to tell the technicians how to fix the dang stove? Why? I'm the customer. You're the technician. Why am I the one telling you how to fix the problem? Which I'm going to show you how to fix it here in a few moments. But, so, basically Samsung put in a ticket. And then the local Teknition, which is Teknition is again, the local Samsung Care service provider. They basically told me, oh, we're going to do an exchange on that. I'm like, so I had to call Samsung, and that's when I learned that they weren't actually replacing my range. They were just going to issue me a credit toward another one or a refund through Lowe's. And I said, no, absolutely not. No. Simple as that. No. And they said, okay, well, we can do a one-time fix for you, but this will be the last time that we fix this range because it's had multiple repairs. And I said, you know something? The reason why it's had multiple repairs is because your technicians did not listen to me when I said I believe this is what's going on. So guess what? After being on the phone multiple times with them trying to say, hey, I want it fixed, I don't want it replaced, I just gave up because it's getting to be the time of year where getting days off is kind of a precious thing. It's not quite as easy to do. So I took matters in my own hands. I fixed it myself. You know how much it cost me to fix this thing? Less than $10. Yes, less than 10 bucks. Let's see where it's at here. This right here, guys, is what fixed this thing. So, what I did was, of course, unplugged power from it, pulled it out, took this back panel off behind here. I took out 2 screws on the bottom, which hold a plastic bracket in place that holds the circuit board that's behind here. It's the control board for the membrane pad and the display. I disconnected the membrane pad from that circuit board and laid the circuit board to the side. I left everything else in place. And I took out the backplate, which holds that membrane switch. And then I carefully peeled this membrane switch off. Peeled it off. And I cleaned the contact surface of the backplate. That's something that was never done by Samsung's technicians. I cleaned it up really good. Took some of this stuff, sprayed it on the back of the membrane switch, put it all back together, and I'd say for the most part things were working great, but there was a couple of times where it was getting to where like the buttons were not responding, so I was like, okay, it didn't adhere really well. So I pulled it back apart again, and this time I noticed that there was actually this adhesive tape. I thought it was like I don't know what it was on the back of the membrane switch, but it was actually an adhesive tape. And I peeled all that off, got it cleaned up, and of all things, I used WD-40 to clean it up because WD-40 is such a good cleaner. It's really good for removing stuck-on adhesives and glues and things like that, and it didn't actually hurt anything at all. The reason why I walked into the tech room is I want to show you what that membrane switch really looks like. It's like a keyboard on a computer. A keyboard on a computer has it's called a matrix, and you have these little bitty switches in here that when you strike a key, the key presses down against the membrane, and it closes a switch. That's basically how this touchpad on this range works. It's exactly the same thing, except you don't have rubber dome keys on top of it. Your finger is basically the equivalent of a rubber dome touching the switch. I barely put my finger on bake and watch. I gotta press that a little bit, but I can rub my finger across here. That's how it is supposed to work. So this time around, like I mentioned, got everything nice and cleaned up on both sides. The back of this membrane switch looked literally just like that keyboard matrix I showed you. All of the old stuff was taken off completely. And then I followed the directions of this product to a T. I did a coat on both the back of the membrane switch, and also a coat, or actually 2 coats. I did 2 coats on both the membrane switch and the backplate. And I cut out a little piece of cardboard to cover up this window here because I didn't want to get adhesive on that. But I did that, sandwiched it together, and this time I used this guy, a rolling pin. I laid it down on the countertop and used this with pretty good downward force to press it down into place. I have used the oven 2 times now, and knock on wood, it's holding. I used the top oven last Sunday. Today is Tuesday night. I did the repair Monday night of last week. So I put it all back together. I let it sit for 24 hours for a full cure. And I didn't use the oven the whole rest of the week, but I did come in here and occasionally try the buttons, see how they would work. And they worked fine. I was thinking to myself, oh, surely it's going to start malfunctioning once I start getting heat of the oven in there. But no. I mean, I like I mentioned, so Sunday I baked biscuits in the top oven, and then Sunday night I baked zucchini bread in the bottom oven. Now zucchini bread, it goes for like an hour on 350. So it was in there for a pretty good while, and the oven stayed hot for a good while. And sure enough, I mean, just like it is right now, everything's holding up. And I do want to mention something. If you look back in the previous video clips, in that last video that I put the card for in this video, you'll notice how when you look at this membrane pad, it looked like wavy. You could see it. You could see it didn't look exactly flat. Now it still doesn't look exactly flat, but I mean, looking at it, I don't really see. It doesn't look uneven to me. It looks like it's flat against the backplate this time. And see, the thing is, due to the nature of this membrane switch, it has to be exactly flat and adhered to work properly. Because, I mean, when you press one of these buttons, you're closing that switch, and if the back of the membrane is not exactly adhered, it will cause this to malfunction and not work right, which would cause it to not respond when you press down pretty firmly. But now, I mean, it works perfectly the way it's supposed to work. So yeah, a $15 can, or no, excuse me, $10 can of Loctite spray adhesive, which, think about it, the can is still practically full. So we could say that this cost me next to nothing, just my time and effort. And let me say that cleaning the old stuff off definitely did involve some time. And I did want to get video. I did want to actually shoot a video of me doing a repair, but it was just, I wasn't sure if it was going to hold. And something like this, I just didn't want to have to deal with messing with the camera and stuff like that. I just wanted to get it done. But I do want to mention, though, that if you have one of these Samsung ranges, and matter of fact, if you have any newer range that has a membrane switch like this, I mean, you can look up your model number and see what kind of part it has for the touchpad. And if it's a membrane switch that sticks onto a metal surface, yours could also have the same problem. There's 2 things that can happen. So number 1 is you could have a lemon stove like this one here, where part of the membrane switch on this part over here was not properly pressed down, which caused the issues that we originally had with it. And number 2, I think sometimes the adhesive can fail due to heat from the oven. They basically use double-sided tape on this thing. That's pretty much what they use. And because I got to watch the technician unpack 2 of these things brand new out of the package, and it was basically just adhesive tape. He'd peel the plastic wrap off of it, and he'd stick it down on the backplate. And like I say, he didn't do it right both times. I'd definitely say this was installation error. But I must say, though, that I'm definitely happy with this product now. Now I've gotten that fixed. like I say, knock on wood, it continues to hold. So, as I was saying, there's two common failure points for this membrane switch that could be resolved with something like this. And the reason why I say that is because if you was to go and buy one of these new switches, membrane switches, at least for this range, it's like $100 and $120. A lot of money for literally something that probably costs $10 to make. But so the reason why I say that is because sometimes if yours is doing the same thing, that could be a way to fix it. So I will say, now that I've gotten that fixed, I'm definitely happy with the stove, but I am so disappointed in Samsung's customer service and their repair centers, because I should not have had to fix this myself. Their technician should have known how to fix this properly. Throwing parts at it is just not the right way to go about it. Hey, I mean, it costs them money, not me. They basically threw away 2 good membrane switches, 2 good displays, and 2 good circuit boards. I mean, it costs them money. So it's still, it was frustrating that this. I mean, I can understand a limit happen once in a while, but the simple fact that they didn't get it right the first time or the second time, it's just ridiculous. It's to the point where I was going to end up giving this thing up for supposedly a credit toward another one, and that's just not right. This is not right. Not saying I don't recommend Samsung appliances. They're definitely not the best appliance manufacturer out there by any means. They're better known for cell phones and computer memory and stuff like that. But I mean, it is what it is, and I think a lot of appliance manufacturers, the quality has definitely slid. It's one of the reasons why I hang on to that 2001 Kimmel 90 series washer and Whirlpool dryer. I should mention the washer is a Whirlpool direct drive, so that's probably the best washing machine ever made. It's one of the reasons why I hang on to those two, because newer washing machines they're just junk. To be quite fair, they're just junk. But anyways, so yeah, the range is fixed. I ended up fixing it myself. Technically, I can say I avoided the warranty, but here it is, mid-August. There was only about 2 months left of the manufacturer's warranty anyway. So it is what it is. What good's a warranty when the technicians apparently don't know how to fix a problem properly? So anyways, that is an update on this thing. I mean, I'd say it's a good outcome. I mean, the thing works like it's supposed to now. I mean, but the fact that I had to fix it myself, that's just kind of appalling, in my opinion. So anyways, hope you all enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.
Well, everybody, that wraps it up for this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like the video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the computer channel, and be sure to tick that bell so you'll get notified when new videos are posted. Also, don't forget, I have a whole lot of other interesting videos here on the channel to check out. And also, in addition, I have a second channel, CubeComp MTDX, where I have all sorts of other videos not exactly related to technology. Links to the channels are available at the end of this video. Again, I thank you for your support, and thanks for watching this video.